If you know, you know. And we all know Manny Pacquiao is hitting 41 and retirement is down the corner. Now, Bob Arum came out and stated that the punishment that Manny Pacquiao took against Keith Thurman will affect him the rest of his life. Now, first of all, God forbid anything bad happening to Manny Pacquiao, and hopefully the punishment that he took against Keith Thurman wouldn't haunt him for the rest of his career. We already lost a legend to the sport, the greatest of all time, Muhammad Ali. He suffered Parkinson toward the end of his career, and it affected his whole life after his boxing career. So that being said, hopefully Manny Pacquiao could even become a president one day, because he deserves to be so. That being said, 40s are the new 30s in this day and age. There's better medicine, better doctors, etc., etc. And I even recall the time when Muhammad Ali was during his late 30s, and he was just taking punishments on the rope. However, Manny Pacquiao still shows signs of his old self. When he fought Keith Thurman, obviously, he took a lot of punishment in that fight. However, he looked impressive in that fight, being a young, undefeated fighter in the process. But one thing for sure, you can't ignore the punishment that Manny Pacquiao took in the Keith Thurman fight. Keith Thurman was a knockout puncher, and he hit Manny Pacquiao with a lot of clean punches. So it is worrying, and I can see why a couple people can be concerned about Manny Pacquiao's health. I mean, look at Roy Jones today, and look at Andre Ward. You got to know when to lace them up. But in my opinion, I still think Manny Pacquiao has one more big fight left in him. But at the same time, I just find it funny that Bob Arum shared his concern for Manny Pacquiao, but he wants Manny Pacquiao to sign to him, get a tune-up fight at 140, possibly fight Lomachenko after that, if Lomachenko is willing to fight a Manny Pacquiao, because last time he turned down a Manny Pacquiao fight. And then even a Terence Crawford possible fight in the future. So if you're concerned about Manny Pacquiao's health and you only want him to fight Floyd Mayweather, why do you have that in plan? You contradicting yourself in a way if you feel that way and you shared it to the public, but then want to make Manny Pacquiao versus Terence Crawford or Lomachenko. That being said, I see the Lomachenko fight as a go for Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao wants to fight. Bob Arum wants to fight. He even talked about it during the press conference. However, Lomachenko cringed. He don't seem like he wants to fight. He already turned the fight down in the past. Even though, in my opinion, it's a good fight, because even though Lomachenko is not a knockout puncher, and he's also the smaller fighter, and Manny Pacquiao is the fastest fighter of the two, and he hit way harder than a Lomachenko. But I can't ignore the fact that the fighter that gave Manny Pacquiao the most trouble is Marquez, and he was a small fighter also. Keep in mind, when Manny Pacquiao fought a Mosley or a Margarito, fighters that's almost twice his size, he had no problem fighting those guys. But when he fought Marquez, he struggled with a Marquez. So it's a good fight, but Lomachenko is not interested. So the fact that Bob Arum in the past was trying to make the Terence Crawford fight, but Freddie Roach and Manny Pacquiao team wasn't interested, and they passed on that fight, and Manny then went and signed with Al Heyman, Bob Arum nemesis. Then surprisingly, Bob Arum came out after that stating that he never wanted to make the Terence Crawford fight, even though that's his job. He's a promoter. He's supposed to promote Terence Crawford and get him the biggest fights. But he claimed Manny wanted too much money. So it seemed like a money issue. But that's why you can't trust what Bob Arum says, because it's not reliable. And that's why Manny Pacquiao went and signed with Al Heyman, because PBC was offering the most money. That being said, Manny Pacquiao, he has his eyes on Errol Spence versus Porter fight. He wants the winner of that fight. He claimed he will fight the winner of that fight. We'll see if he keeps his word. However, he also has his eyes on Mikey Garcia, the guy who just took the biggest punishment of the year against Errol Spence. And he also has his eyes on Danny Garcia, at least according to Danny Garcia. And Danny trying to steal that fight from Errol Spence. And he stated, just like Keith Thurman stole that fight from him. Even though in that situation, Danny lost the opportunity because he didn't put himself in that position by beating a Keith Thurman. He lost the Keith Thurman fight. He lost the Sean Porter fight. So why would Manny Pacquiao fight him instead of Keith Thurman? It's a no-brainer. Just like why will Manny Pacquiao fight him instead of Errol Spence when Errol Spence is fighting Sean Porter on a pay-per-view, and obviously when Sean Porter fought Danny Garcia, it wasn't on pay-per-view, and they fighting for 2 belts. So it's just a no-brainer that Manny will pick Errol Spence over Danny Garcia unless he sees something in Errol Spence that he doesn't like. The fact that Errol Spence is looking like a beast, and it's smoke season for Errol Spence at this point, and Manny holds one of the belts, so obviously Errol Spence wants that fight next. So if he chooses a Danny Garcia, it's because Manny doesn't want the smoke with Errol Spence because it's just too foggy for him. Even though they could fill out Cowboy Stadium easy, and that's like up to 80,000 fans in the arena, is history making right there. But the fact that Errol Spence is screaming out smoke season and he's smoking all the fighters he's fighting, it's too dangerous of a fight for a Manny Pacquiao at this point of his career. So if he chooses not to fight Errol Spence, it's because Errol Spence is the truth. And what's understood don't got to be explained. Y'all know what time it is when it comes to that subject. Now, that being said, we'll see what Manny chooses to do. What y'all think about what Bob Arum said? Do y'all agree with him? Do y'all think that Manny should hang it up and retire and focus on the politics, or keep on fighting? Because in my opinion, he still has at least one big fight left in him. Now, that being said, subscribe below if you're trying to get smarter by the minute. If you're trying to get dumb about a second, don't listen to these casual fans. Follow Looney Tune Boxing for the funniest boxing memes. Follow me at IKTV on Instagram. All the links will be in the description box below. Click on the notification bell to get notified every time we go live and to be continued on the next episode of IKTV. Peace, and we out.